Well, joining me now is Elvis Mbwoge. He's the president of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement in London. And also with us is Alain Mbe. He's the European campaign coordinator for the opposition Cameroon Renaissance Movement. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. I think it's quite clear where you both stand on this election, but let's just be absolutely certain. Alain, how do you feel about Paul Biya getting another term?
I feel like the vast majority of Cameroonians who went to the poll on the 7th of October, they voted for President Maurice Kamto as their new president. However, Paul Biya and his Constitutional Council have decided otherwise. Very disappointed. However, we stand by Cameroonian. And as suggested by Professor Maurice Kamto, the president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, we will resist and things will not be as before.
Alain, Maurice Kamto got 14% of the vote. So unless you're telling me that the vote was rigged, how can he possibly be the man that the vast majority of Cameroonians chose?
The vote was indeed rigged, and that is a soft word, by the way. Cameroon is one of those few countries where you would think there is democracy, but it is actually a disguised dictatorship. This is a country where you have 25,000 polling stations, and representatives of candidates at the polling station are literally arrested, molested, and sent away. Where the coalition of the party in power, together with the Interior Ministry and the LACAM, the body who organized election, they basically make things up. Let me give you just one simple example. At the end of the polling day, every result in every polling station is made public. Everyone can collect those results, count them, and you will know what the result is. Set aside all those stations or regions where there was no election. I hope we'll come back on the situation in the southeast and northwest, southwest and northwest of the country.
Elvis Mbwoge, Paul Biya is still your president, and he will be your president for another term. Alain says that the vote was rigged, there was intimidation, low turnout. It doesn't count. Tell me why you disagree with him.
As a matter of fact, I must first thank you for giving me the opportunity and to express our joy and to thank God that our national chairman, His Excellency Paul Biya, has been re-elected once again. And we Cameroonians, the vast majority of Cameroonians have spoken, have chosen whom they want to lead, whom they really want to lead them. And as a matter of fact, my party, the CPDM, is very proud, and we know that our vast majority is not just by the word itself, it's by the practical participation in the electoral process. People like Alain just say these things because they are not political participants, but they are easy. They come across as people who participate in the political process in Cameroon. What people don't understand, and I want the world to understand this, is that the CPDM party, led by President Paul Biya, is the majority, and it is covered it is covered all over Cameroon, and our militants are passionate, enthusiastic. If I should tell you, we have 25 million Cameroonians, and just less than 6 million have registered to vote, and just 3 million turned up to vote. What do you think for yourself? As a matter of fact, the Cameroonians have spoken.
Okay, Elvis, let me ask you. The state says 10% of voter turnout in the 2 Anglophone regions. There's been trouble in the Anglophone regions. There's been a lot of violence recently. The International Crisis Group actually halves that. They say there's only 5% voter turnout in the 2 Anglophone regions where there's been big problems. So tell me honestly, Elvis, you can say that a lot of people voted for Paul Biya, but if only 5 to 10% of people are even showing up in the areas where there are the major problems in the country right now, can you really tell me Paul Biya is the president for all Cameroonians?
When you talk of the 10% turning up, what of the 80% turning up? And I want to tell you this, the Southwest and Northwest no doubt has some instability, but the government ensured that security and a proper coordination of election should take place. And this happened. And we can see that there are places where elections took place without any problems. As it's just it's a propaganda that the opposition wants to use to sabotage the image of our democracy. However, we understand that there is instability in the Northwest and Southwest, and the number that was supposed to vote was a little bit lessened because of the crisis.
Okay, Alain, come in here. Alain, the blame is directed at the opposition, saying you want to delegitimize a democratic process. That's why you're telling people not to vote. Is that fair?
Which democratic process? You tell me. This is a country where even the prime minister could not even go and vote in the region he belongs to. He applied to be given the opportunity to go and vote, and they told him, no, you can't. It isn't. And the very reason why he wanted to go and vote in the north is where he belongs to was indeed because it is unsecure. That is his own statement. And he was told, no, you cannot come and vote. He was not even able to vote. This is the prime minister of the country. This is a country where the second in charge, the president of the Senate, was able to vote in Paris, where there's no provision in the constitution or the electoral code to allow him to vote in Paris. This is a country where we are talking about an election where the president was president while a candidate. He came out once. He made a speech for 7 minutes to Cameroonians. 7 minutes. This is a country where he was scheduled for a visit in the southwest of the country, where you have all kinds of trouble going on, where there's literally a war going on. He was not even able to set foot there. A few other trips that were planned were literally cancelled just because that part of the country is at war, literally. Now, they could not have an election in those two regions, and clearly, even Elvis? 5% is far too generous.
Okay, Elvis?
What Alain is saying is just what I would still call political sabotage. I will tell you that I will take this opportunity to tell the international community, Cameroonians are really proud that His Excellency Paul Biya has been re-elected. And I will let you this. One of the Southwest region today in Biya, the mayor, Mayor Ekema, has turned out with a massive crowd celebrating the re-election of His Excellency Paul Biya. Tell me, are these people from the eastern part of the country or the southern part of the country? These are the Anglophones who are happy to show the world that they are happy that His Excellency Paul Biya has been re-elected. And this is just to show the world that we are blessed. And I will tell you this, we know one thing. Now that His Excellency Paul Biya has been re-elected, he is a guarantor of peace in Cameroon, a guarantor of security and progress.
You said this, right? So let me take you up on that. This is not a new, fresh face. You're saying a guarantor of peace and security and stability. There hasn't been peace and security and stability, especially in those Anglophone regions of the country. So let me ask you the question from a different angle. Here's a man who's 85 years old and he's been in charge for 36 years. Why do you want to give him another 7 years? The man has had 36 years to bring peace and prosperity to Cameroon. Why do you want to give him another 7 to finally make it right this time around?
Since when has democracy started excluding people? That is the benefits and the advantages of democracy, where the people choose who they want to be their leader, where the people believe in a leader who gives the vision to his people, a leader who his people have faith in. And that is why democracy comes in, and that is the advantage. Nobody should be excluded. If President Paul Biya has been elected at his age, it means that his people believe in him. His people believe that he will give them the peace that he has given them before. He will give them the progress and the opportunities that he has given them before. He is the person who brought the multi-party politics in Cameroon. He is the person who is giving us the democratization experience we are experiencing today. Even people from afar who do not even understand the political implications and the dynamics dynamics in Cameroon can criticize us without even knowing what is going on. And that is all grace to His Excellency Paul Biya. And I'll tell you this, we that support him know that we are fine and Cameroon is in progress. And his vision 2035 will not fail us because Cameroon is getting into emergence by 2035. And this is the vision that His Excellency Paul Biya has put forward for Cameroon, and we're all behind him. And we believe that this time around, no matter the distraction we are getting, the minority, the minority and loud distraction we are getting, the majority of and the silent of the silent majority of Cameroonians will push forward to live in a prosperous Cameroon.
Okay. By the end of this 7-year term, he will be 92 years old and still a way off the 2035 vision. Alain, let me ask you about what your plans are. So I know that you believe that Maurice Kamto should be the true president and that he won. He and Joshua Osei want a recount. If there's no recount, what do you do? What's your next step?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that I address a key issue here. Cameroon is one of the 200 countries in the Concert of Nations. And looking at where we are in the world on a number of indicators, we are lagging behind. Just to give you one number, on the Doing Business ranking, we rank 162. My brother Elvis should be ashamed of saying that a man who took over a prosperous and peaceful country is a man who rules the country out of Switzerland, where he spent most of his time. A man who went out campaigning for just a single day can stand there and say that he's a guarantor, he can give any more than what we have seen. I'm out of my mind on trying to understand what he's talking about. Now, back to your question. Professor Maurice Kamto, who came out on the scene in a system where we had over 300 political parties. That was in 2012 when the Cameroon Renaissance Movement was born. We went to the election in 2013 and came out fourth when you look at the number of the count of voters. We have been campaigning relentlessly for the electoral code to change, to be improved. It hasn't, unfortunately. It is structured in such a way that it favors the system. We have been campaigning for the system to split the power so that the Constitutional Council, for instance, isn't one where Paul Biya can name his friends and acquaintances to make decisions for him. So we will use, and this is repeating Professor Maurice Kamto word, the president-elect for Cameroon, we will use we'll explore every legal means necessary in order to secure this victory. We campaigned on the theme of a football where we scored the penalty. The penalty was scored, and Cameroonians have been asked to remain mobilized in order to secure this victory. This is the occasion as we have not had before. The last time someone came on the scene to give this hope to Cameroonians was back in 1992. Since then, there's been a long void that the Cameroon Renaissance Movement have come in and failed. And we will be at it, exploring every means around the world, obviously, to make sure that justice is restored for Cameroonians.
Okay, I have to wrap, but I think it's fair if I give Elvis Mbwoge a final response in 20 seconds or less, please, Elvis.
I just want to say that the world should understand that Cameroon is back on track. With the election of His Excellency Paul Biya, this is hope. This is a hope for the region that has been very unstable in the past decade. And we could see what the present government and His Excellency Paul Biya did, especially with the issue of Boko Haram. And the world could see the difference, what makes a man thick and what makes a man beloved. This is a leader who's given his life for his country. We can count a few of them in the world today. And we are proud to have President Paul Biya as our leader, and we only hope for the best for 2035 emergence of his vision for our country. And I take this opportunity to congratulate Cameroonians who have spoken and shown the world that we love our leader, we love our nation, and we are back on track.
Okay, gentlemen, I've got to move on. Hope to have you both on the Newsmakers again in the future. Alain Mbe and Elvis Mbwoge, thanks again.